Right, good morning. Hi, people. This is the video lesson for week 3, and we're going to go through unit 2. Unit 2, the environment. Okay, so have your book in front of you as you watch this video lesson. Okay, so the first page that we need to do is reading 1, but we will not read reading 1. We just need to look at the vocabulary. So just page 40. Okay, now I think this video will work best if you use it interactively. So sometimes I will say to you, pause the video now, and then you stop the video or you pause the video, you do the exercise in your book, and then you start the video again, and you can check the answers with me. All right, that's probably the best way to do this. So reading 1 on page 40, preparing to read. And like I said, we're just going to look at the words. You do need to study the words. Some of the vocabulary will be in our midterm test, okay? So make sure that you understand and know the vocabulary from every reading in every unit. Okay, so there are 8 words, and you should pause the video now, study the words, make sure you understand them, and then put them into the correct blanks A to H. Okay, and I'm going to go through the answers in 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. So A. Now these are definitions. They're not sentences with the words. They are definitions. Do you remember that word, definition? It means the meaning of a word. So A gas which makes the air around the earth warmer. That is greenhouse gas. B, someone or something that makes something happen. That's cause, 8. C, the layer of gases around the earth. Atmosphere. The atmosphere, if you look at number 6, the earth's atmosphere is 480 kilometers thick and contains a mixture of about 10 different gases, which we call air. D, the general weather conditions usually found in a particular place, climate. Okay, so you might hear in English talking about the climate of different countries or different cities. Look at number 2. Adelaide, Australia, has a very pleasant climate. The winters are not too cold and the summers are not too hot. E, an increase in the Earth's temperature because of pollution. Okay, so that is global warming. F, to be likely to damage or harm something, threaten. Number 3. So the verb to threat or to threaten, and then you can also use it as a noun, a threat. And then we've got G, all the living things in an area and the effect they have on each other and the environment. That is ecosystem. And H, a source of energy like coal, gas, and petroleum that was formed inside the Earth millions of years ago. Fossil fuels. In America, they use gasoline in their cars. In England, we call it petrol or petroleum. All right, so that's the vocabulary for reading 1. We're not going to read the article. If you want to read it yourself, go for it, but it's not part of our class. Okay, so we're going to turn the page. Page 42 and 43. So the only thing that we really need to look at here is on page 42, the red box, reading for detail. So let me just read this for us. In a paragraph, sentences which come after the topic sentence contain supporting details, information to help the reader understand the main idea more fully. Types of supporting details include facts, statistics, examples, reasons, explanations, comparisons, and descriptions. Often, the topic sentence includes words which tell you what type of supporting details or supporting sentences to expect in the body of the paragraph. And you can see the example. Okay, so remember last week, we briefly talked about topic sentence, which comes at the beginning of the paragraph. And then this one is telling you about supporting details. And I told you that you want to use lots of examples and lots of details in your body paragraphs when you are writing. Here are some examples of how you can do that. Right, we're going to come back to this later in the class. I'm going to show you some examples of these. But for now, let's just move on. And we'll have a look at reading 2. Okay, so this is the main reading article that we're going to look at. So there are some questions preparing to read. Maybe you can just think about them. Why are trees important for the environment? Why do people cut down trees? What will happen if we destroy too many trees? And look at the title of the article, The Causes and Effects of Deforestation. All right. Now, before we start, we also need to look at the vocabulary on page 44. There are 8 words: absorb, construction, destruction, effect, farming, logging, rainforest. Sorry, there are just 7 words. Right, everybody. So pause the video again. Make sure you understand the words, translate them into Korean if you need to, and then have a go at filling in the blanks in the sentences 1 to 7. Okay, pause the video, and then when you finish, start again, and I will give you the answers. Okay, number 1, clothes made from plants like cotton or bamboo absorb water more easily than man-made materials like polyester. Number 2, blank has been my family's occupation since my grandfather bought his first cow 75 years ago. Right, so cow is a pretty good clue. If you are working with cows, then probably it's farming, right? So the answer is farming. Number 3, logging hurts native people because it destroys the forest that provides them with food, shelter, and medicine. Logging. And logging is the activity or business of cutting down trees for wood. Probably just like that photo on page 45. Number 4, the Amazon rainforest in South America receives 200 to 600 centimeters of rain every year. Number 5, because of heavy snow, the construction of the new road stopped for more than 2 months. 6, sunburn is just one of the harmful effects of too much sun on sensitive skin. Effects, you have to add the S. Sometimes you need to change the form of the word to match the sentence. So effect with an S, one of the effects. And number 7, in 2017, Hurricane Harvey caused serious destruction in the US state of Texas and killed more than 80 people. Okay, now, page 45. This is the reading that we're going to do, and I think I will read it in this video. because A, it can help you with pronunciation. B, I can explain some of the words and phrases. And C, it's good for listening practice. And also, as you are listening to me, you can be silently reading in your mind. If I were you, I would also read it myself. You can pause the video after I finish and you can try to read it yourself. Good reading practice. All right, so the title, The Causes and Effects of Deforestation. Now this one has 5 paragraphs. Do you remember Unit 1? We had 4 paragraphs. This one has 5, which is good because when you do your essay, we're going to be doing 5 paragraphs. So when you have 5, it usually works like this. Introduction is number 1, conclusion is number 5, and then the 3 middle ones are the body paragraphs. Okay, let me read it. Number 1, paragraph 1. Forests, which cover almost 1/3 of the surface of the earth, produce oxygen and provide homes to plants, animals, and humans. These days, many of the world's great forests are threatened by deforestation, the process of removing trees from large areas of land. The destruction of forests occurs for several reasons. Trees are used as fuel or for construction, and cleared land is used as pasture for animals or fields for planting food. The main harmful effects of deforestation are climate change and damage to animals' habitats. Damage to animal habitats. Now, in this one, they're giving you a key. That means next to some words, there is a number, and then, as you can see at the bottom, they explain the word. So next to the word pasture, there was a number 1, and if you look at the bottom, what does pasture mean? It's a noun. It's an area of land with grass for animals to eat. If you see fields with cows or maybe sheep or horses sometimes, if they're eating the grass on the ground, that is called pasture. Okay. Paragraph 2. The main causes of deforestation are commercial farming by big business and farming by local people. Huge commercial farms have taken over large areas of forest in many countries. In Indonesia, for example, industrial logging is carried out to clear huge areas for the production of palm oil, while in Brazil, large areas of the Amazon rainforest are cleared to grow soy and vegetable oil. In contrast, local farmers may cut down and burn trees to clear an area just big enough to graze cattle or grow crops. Graze cattle is similar to when we just talked about pasture. Grazing animals, grazing cattle, means they're eating the grass. However, after 2 or 3 years, the land can no longer be used, so the farmer moves to another piece of land. Normally, it takes around 10 years for cleared land to recover, but in populated areas, the land is never allowed to recover. This constant reuse of land leads to heavy erosion, the loss of the top layer of soil which protects the ground. Erosion, in turn, can cause flooding in heavy rain. Right, number 2 is erosion. If you look at the word definition, erosion means the gradual damage or removal of stone, soil, etc. by wind, rain, or waves. Erosion. All right, paragraph 3. One serious effect of deforestation is climate change. Normally, tropical rainforests help control the Earth's temperature by absorbing carbon dioxide. As an example, the vast rainforest of the Amazon covers an area around 25 times the size of the UK and absorbs an estimated 1.36 billion tons of carbon dioxide annually. Annually means yearly. Annual means year. However, in areas where deforestation has taken place, the carbon dioxide goes into the atmosphere and traps heat in a process called the greenhouse effect. The result is global warming. Increasing global temperatures result in less rain. This causes the rainforests to dry out and leads to fires, which cause more emissions of carbon dioxide. In this way, the rainforests actually contribute to global warming instead of helping to solve it. Maybe you've seen on the news, there's a lot of wildfires these days, especially in Australia and in places in America like California or Oregon. So fires are becoming a serious problem in the world, and this is one of the reasons. Forest destruction also has an effect on biodiversity. Number 3. Biodiversity, noun, the variety of different animals and plants in an area. Biodiversity. Deforestation causes the loss of habitats and damage to land where plants and animal species live, leading to the extinction of many species. A decrease in biodiversity threatens entire ecosystems and destroys future sources of food and medicine. In conclusion, damage to the world's forests is leading to changes in the natural environment and causing global warming. Looking to the future, governments should act to plant more trees which will absorb carbon dioxide and protect forests from illegal logging. Otherwise, deforestation on such a large scale is sure to have terrible effects on the environment. Right, everybody. So again, any words or phrases that you don't understand, I would try to translate. And like I said before, it would be good practice if you try to read the article yourself. If you have a quiet place, maybe you can try to read it out loud, not just in your head. Spend some time with the article. Make sure that you can try to understand what it is telling us. When you are ready, we're going to turn the page and we're going to answer some of the questions on page 46. Okay, so page 46, just like Unit 1, we're going to answer some of these questions. Part 3 is summarizing. Part 4, reading for detail. Okay. Right, so again, I think it would be best if you pause the video, try to answer these questions yourself, and then when you are ready, start the video again, and you can go through the answers with me. Okay, let's start at the top of 46. So we're going to complete the summary using the words in the box. This is a summary. Summarize. Basically, trying to, if you have a big article, you're going to try to describe it with less words. Summarize. All right, let's give it a go. The essay discusses the human causes of, what do you think? Deforestation. Number 1, deforestation, and the effects on the environment. Trees are removed for grazing of animals and growing crops like soy and palm oil. Farmers traditionally leave the land for a decade before reusing it. But if the land is constantly reused, it results in erosion of the soil. Deforestation allows CO2 to escape into the atmosphere and contributes to global warming. It also affects biodiversity because it leads to the loss of habitats. Governments should make sure forests are protected from logging. Otherwise, deforestation will have terrible consequences for the environment. Okay, number 4, read the essay again and correct the factual mistakes in the sentences. Okay, so these sentences have some problem. They have some error. So you need to kind of check between the article and the sentence. Let's have a look. So number 1, in Indonesia, trees are cut down to make way for olive oil plantations. So we're going to look at paragraph 2, and you can see the third sentence. In Indonesia, for example, industrial logging is carried out to clear huge areas for the production of palm oil. So it is not olive oil, it is palm oil. So there is some kind of factual mistake. That is the mistake. 2, farmers can graze animals on their land for 10 years. Right. Where was that one? That was also in paragraph 2, but this is kind of in the second half. Normally, it takes around 10 years for cleared land to recover. So look before that sentence. However, after 2 or 3 years, the land can no longer be used. 2 or 3 years. Number 2, farmers can graze animals on their land for 2 or 3 years. Number 3, the rainforests of the Amazon cover an area 2.5 times the size of the UK. This is in paragraph 3. Is it 2.5 times? No, 25 times. Just remove that little dot. 25 times. Number 4, deforestation protects future sources of food and medicine. Right. Obviously, we got one word there, which is not correct. It doesn't protect, does it? Damage. Deforestation damages future sources of food and medicine. Let's see. Or we could use the word threatens. Sorry, threatens. Deforestation threatens future sources of food and medicine. Threatens. Number 5, governments should plant more trees to absorb oxygen. Okay. Look in paragraph 5. Look into the future. Governments should act to plant more trees which will absorb carbon dioxide. So it's not oxygen, carbon dioxide. And number 6, small-scale deforestation will have disastrous effects on the environment. Right, so the incorrect word is not small-scale, large-scale. All right, so that's basically reading 2. We don't need to do the other ones there, I don't think. So let's move on to the next page. Page 48. We're going to have a quick look at this. Environment collocations. Right, do you know the meaning of collocation? Collocation is basically when you add 2 words together. You take 2 words and you put them together. Adding 2 things. So number 2 says, match the words in each box to make collocations about the environment. Sometimes more than one collocation is possible. So look at some examples. Carbon. What word could go with carbon to make a new word? Carbon dioxide. Climate. What could we put with climate? Climate change. How about environmental? Environmental group. That's basically a group of people that try to help the environment. Greenhouse, greenhouse gas. Natural, Natural resource. Power. Power plant. That's a factory where they make energy, like a nuclear power plant. Tropical rainforest. Okay, so now we're going to try to put those into part 3. We're going to try to put them in the correct blank. So again, pause the video, try to put some collocations into the correct blanks. After you are finished, start the video again and check the answers with me. Okay, let's do it. So in number 1, in my town, about 70% of the electricity comes from a power plant, which uses coal for energy. Number 2, carbon dioxide and methane are examples of greenhouse gases. Now, don't forget to change the form, greenhouse gases. 3, almost all scientists these days agree that climate change is happening and is a serious threat to our planet. 4, trees absorb carbon dioxide and give off oxygen. Give off means release. 5, all over the world, environmental groups are working to educate people about the dangers of deforestation and habitat destruction. 6, fresh water is the most precious natural resource on Earth. And 7, thousands of unique plants, animals, birds, and insects live in the tropical rainforests of South America and Southeast Asia. All right, so I think that's going to be most of the vocabulary for Unit 2. Reading 1, Reading 2, environment collocations. Cool, so now we're going to go to the next part of Reading 2, of Unit 2. And as you can see, writing, critical thinking. In the red box, it says, this is page 49. We're looking at analyzing cause and effect. Cause and effect. This is a very common technique or topic when you are writing. What is the cause? What is the effect? What causes something? And what is the effect? Okay. So we're going to start with the book, and then I will show you another example. Right, so page 49, look in the red box, analyzing cause and effect. I'm going to read this. Cause and effect is a very common type of academic writing. Sometimes the causes and effects are discussed in separate paragraphs. This is true, especially when there is one cause with several effects or one effect with several causes. For example, right now in this unit, we're going to start with a problem. The problem in this example, traffic congestion in my city. Right, let's pull up a different PowerPoint. Okay, so you can see here the first page is the first slide of this PowerPoint is page 49. So the problem is traffic congestion in my city. That's the problem. Now, what causes the problem and what are the effects of the problem? So one cause is too many cars on the road, as you can see in the picture. And there are several effects, such as air pollution, noise, people are often late for work or school, accidents. Okay, so some pictures here to go with that. Air pollution, noise, people are often late for work or school. Accidents. So these are the effects of traffic congestion, and the cause is that there are too many cars on the road. Another cause could be poor public transport or not enough public transport. That is the cause. And then the problem is traffic congestion. And then we have the effects. Okay, so let's have a look at page 51, everybody. Page 51. We need to have some language when we're talking about cause and effect. Verbs of cause and effect. Okay, so my example is different to the book. The book on page 51 is talking about deforestation, but my one is talking about the traffic congestion. So let's have a look. Cause, too many cars on the road. Now we need some linking verbs or phrases to get to the effect. We've got the cause and the effect, but we need to link them. So look at the linking verbs or phrases. We can say things like leads to, causes, results in. So just make some sentences. Too many cars on the road leads to air pollution. Too many cars on the road causes noise. Too many cars on the road results in people being late for work or school. Too many cars on the road causes accidents. So as you can see, these are linking verbs or phrases. Now we can also go the other way. We can start with the effect, and then we can kind of go back. What caused it? So as you can see, now we're using like the past tense. So air pollution is caused by too many cars on the road. Caused, past tense. Noise on the streets is due to too many cars on the road. Being late for work or school is the result of too many cars on the road. Okay, so try to use some of the linking verbs or phrases when you are talking about cause and effect. This is page 51. So if you want to practice this, I would self-study page 51 to practice using the verbs, the linking verbs or phrases. Okay, now you can just self-study this. This is university, so university, you are expected to self-study a lot more than you would have in the past. Okay. Right, now I have made a cause and effect writing practice here. Now you don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's not an assignment. It's just writing practice. So let's just look at my example. Traffic congestion in my city. So this is a paragraph that I wrote. In my city, there is a lot of traffic congestion. Topic sentence. There are simply too many cars on the road, and this leads to many problems. For example, there is too much air pollution these days. This causes me to cough more than in the past, and I feel like my breathing ability has been affected in a bad way. There is also so much noise outside my bedroom window as a result of the traffic and cars. This makes it very hard for me to concentrate when I'm trying to read a book or study at home. Another problem caused by the traffic is that my father often complains about being late for work, and I'm also sometimes late for school if we don't leave our house early enough in the morning. The increase in traffic has also led to a lot more accidents and car crashes. Just yesterday, I was walking home and I saw 3 cars damaged on the side of the road as a result of an accident. It's pretty scary. Right, so the main point here is how to use the connecting verbs as we just looked at. And I've put them in red for you. But another thing you might want to look at, how to use too much or too many. So first of all, this is used when you're talking about something in a negative way. It's too hot. It's too cold. There are too many bugs. Okay, negative. Don't use it in a positive way. Don't use too in a positive way. Too, T-O-O, is used to describe things that are not wanted. So again, look at the first couple of sentences. There are simply too many cars on the road. For example, there is too much air pollution. Right, so as you probably know, too many is used when we have a countable noun. You can count the noun. Too many cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. Too many cars. If the noun is uncountable, if you can't count it, then we use too much. Too much air pollution. Pollution is an uncountable noun. Okay. So if you want to do writing practice, you could follow what it says here, but you do not have to do this. Okay, it is not an assignment. I just want to show you this to give you an example of a cause and effect writing paragraph. Okay, so we're moving on. Page 52 now, everybody. So we don't have too much more to do in Unit 2, which is good news. But we're just going to have a quick look at because and because of. All right, so read page 52, explaining the difference between because and because of, and then complete the 4 questions. So because is a conjunction which introduces a reason. It is followed by a subject, a verb, and sometimes an object. Because of is a 2-word preposition, meaning as a result of. It is followed by a noun, a pronoun, or a noun phrase. All right, so pause the video and just have a quick go at doing those 4 questions in part 3. And then I will give you the answers. Okay, so part 3, number 1, sea levels may rise because of melting glaciers. In a warmer world, there are more fires because there is less rain. The atmosphere is becoming warmer because of deforestation and burning fossil fuels. Low-lying islands may be submerged because sea levels are rising. Right, let's have another look, or let's have a look at another file that has some more examples of this. Right, so on this one, I've got that paragraph that I just showed you. Right, let's just look at this again. Because of and because. Now, the easiest way to figure out which one to use is to look at the words that come after because or because of. Look at the rules again. After because of, usually you're going to have a verb with ing, or a noun, or a personal pronoun, his, her, our, their, us, etc. So example, Maria didn't go to the supermarket because of her sickness. So that word her is a clue that it's going to be because of. okay, because it is a personal pronoun. And because, after because, usually we're going to have a subject, which is not the same as a personal pronoun. He, she, it, we, they, plus a verb. Maria didn't go to the supermarket because she was feeling sick. Right, what we can do here is you can have a go at just choosing the correct answer in these 10 questions. Directions: read and choose the correct answer. Check your answers. Well, I'll give you the answers in a second. So pause the video, everyone, and just choose the correct answer. I'm guessing most of you will just kind of naturally know the correct answer for this. All right, so number one, I'm asking you because I want to know your opinion. Remember, I is subject. 2, I was late this morning because of the traffic. Noun, the traffic. 3, she can't drive because of her blindness. Of her blindness. Her, personal pronoun. The bank closed down because of the recession. The recession, noun. Number 5, I came back because I'd forgotten my briefcase. Subject, I. Number 6, we stopped playing football because of the rain. 7, Tom is very difficult to understand because of his weird accent. 8, Paul moved to Paris because of his job. 9, John crashed his truck because he was driving too fast. And 10, I cannot come because of the weather. Okay, we don't need to worry about this unless you want to practice yourself, but you don't have to do the exercise. Okay, so we're almost done with this video. Let's see, I've also got one more thing I want to show you. Right, so do you remember I said to you at the beginning, page 42, I said that we would come back to the box that says reading for details. All right, now this is actually going to be really important and really helpful to you when you are doing your writing later. So remember, page 42, let's just remind ourselves what it says. In a paragraph, the sentences which come after the topic sentence contain supporting details. And there are many different types of supporting details. And here are some examples. Facts. And if you want to use fact or statistic, here is some language. Look in the box here, or the table. It's a fact. And then you add the fact or detail. Often we use the word that. It's a fact that. Number 2, examples. And often we use for example. It says here, see page 54 for more example expressions. Page 54. On page 54 in your book, let's quickly bring up. Giving examples. Right, so look, examples are a common type of supporting detail. Look at the example from reading 2. The first sentence makes it clear that there are many countries in which commercial farms have taken over large areas of forest. In the second sentence, the writer states Indonesia as an example of this. So look at the examples, the language that you can use when you're giving examples. Especially, including, particularly, like, for example, for instance, such as. So when you're giving examples, you don't always have to put for example. You can also use those other words or phrases. Remember what I told you. Don't repeat the same words or phrases too much when you are writing. Okay, so you don't always have to put for example. You can use the language here on page 54. All right. Now I'm going to go back to the Word file that I had just then. So that is number 2. That is for examples. Number 3, reasons. Here's some language. The reason is, the reasons are. Explanations. According to. Comparisons. We did this in the last class, didn't we? Comparatives. And then descriptions. Right, if we scroll down, I've given you some examples here of the different types of supporting details, supporting sentences. So fact, statistic. If the topic sentence is McDonald's, a very popular restaurant, a supporting detail sentence might look like this. It's a fact that there are 118 countries in the world which have McDonald's. So that's a supporting detail using a fact or a statistic. The next one is an example. Topic sentence. K-pop is becoming more popular around the world. Supporting detail. For example, Gangnam Style by Psy has been viewed over 3.5 billion times on YouTube and BTS tours all over the world. If you want to use reasons as supporting details, healthy eating is important. One reason is healthy eating can reduce heart disease. Explanations. Topic sentence. Most people like kimchi. All right, this is kind of most people in Korea, I guess we should say. Now, explanation. According to a Korea Times news article, one explanation why almost 95% of people in Korea eat kimchi every day is that most people were introduced to kimchi by their parents when they were toddlers, young. Next one, comparisons. Mum's Touch is better than Burger King. Mum's Touch is low cost and its chicken patties and burgers are thicker and more delicious than Burger King burgers. Right, so that's kind of what we did last time. And then descriptions. Soju is an alcohol from Korea. Soju is a clear, colorless alcohol, and most types of soju are made in South Korea. Describing something using adjectives. All right, guys, so lots of different ways to support your topic with details, supporting details.